The Puppy Who Found a Talking Shell. Once upon a time, in a little town nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there lived a playful puppy named Max. Max had shiny black fur, ears that flopped when he ran, and a nose that twitched with curiosity. Every morning, he would bound out of his cozy bed, eager to greet the day and discover new adventures. Max lived with his family in a blue house at the end of Maple Lane. His favorite place in the world was the beach just beyond the tall swaying grass. The sand was soft beneath his paws, and the salty breeze tickled his nose. He loved chasing the seagulls, digging for buried treasures, and listening to the waves sing their gentle lullaby. One bright summer morning, Max woke up to the sound of birds chirping outside the window. He stretched his legs, wagged his tail, and trotted to the kitchen where his little girl Emma was eating breakfast. "Good morning, Max," Emma giggled, dropping a small piece of toast for him. Max munched happily, then nudged her hand with his nose. Emma grinned and scratched behind his ears, his favorite spot. After breakfast, Emma opened the back door and called, "Let's go to the beach, Max." Max barked joyfully and dashed outside, his tail wagging like a flag in the wind. Together they made their way down the sandy path, the sun shining overhead and the waves calling out in the distance. At the beach, Emma spread out a colourful blanket and settled in with her favourite storybook. Max, meanwhile, set off on his own adventure. He sniffed a cluster of seaweed, chased a crab scuttling sideways, and watched a flock of pelicans soaring above the waves. Just as Max was about to return to Emma, something shiny caught his eye near a patch of driftwood. Curious, he trotted over and began to dig. His paws uncovered a small shell, smooth and pearly, glimmering in the sunlight. It was unlike any shell Max had ever seen. Max picked up the shell with his mouth and examined it closely. Suddenly, to his astonishment, the shell began to wiggle. Max dropped it in surprise, and the shell rolled in the sand. Then a tiny, cheerful voice echoed from inside. "Hello there. Thank you for finding me." Max's eyes widened. He looked around, wondering if someone was playing a trick on him. But there was no one nearby, just the shell lying in the sand, sparkling in the sun. "Who are you?" Max barked softly, his head tilted to one side. "I'm Shelley, the talking shell," the voice replied. "I've been waiting a long time for someone to find me. You must be very brave and very kind." Max's tail wagged excitedly. He had never met a talking shell before. "What are you doing here, Shelley?" he asked. "I washed up on this beach after a big storm," Shelley explained. "But I once lived in a magical ocean, full of wonderful creatures and hidden treasures. I've seen many adventures, but I've never met a puppy like you." Max's eyes sparkled with wonder. "Can you tell me about your adventures?" he asked eagerly, his ears perked up. "Of course," Shelley replied, her voice twinkling like sea glass. "But first, I need your help. I'm searching for the rainbow tide, a magical wave that can carry me home. It only appears when someone with a kind heart does a good deed by the sea." Max thought for a moment. He wanted to help Shelley, but he wasn't sure how. Just then, he heard a faint cry coming from farther down the beach. It sounded like someone, or something, was in trouble. "I'll be right back, Shelley," Max barked, picking up the shell carefully in his mouth. He followed the sound, his nose sniffing the air. Soon, he discovered a tiny sandpiper chick caught in a tangle of seaweed. The little bird chirped anxiously, its tiny wings fluttering. Max gently set Shelley down and got to work. With careful paws and a gentle nose, he untangled the seaweed, freeing the frightened chick. The little bird hopped up, fluffed its feathers and chirped gratefully. "Thank you, Mac," the chick peeped. "I was so scared. How can I ever repay you?" Max wagged his tail. "I'm just happy you're safe," he said. Suddenly, the sky seemed to shimmer with a magical light. The waves sparkled in all the colours of the rainbow, and a soft, sparkling mist rose from the sea. Shelley's voice rang out with excitement. "Max, you did it! That was the good deed I needed. The rainbow tide is here." Max watched in awe as a brilliant wave, shimmering with every colour he could imagine, rolled gently onto the shore. The air was filled with the scent of salt and the sound of laughter from the waves. "It's time for me to go home," Shelley said softly. "Thank you, Max, for helping me. I'll never forget your kindness." Max felt a little sad to say goodbye, but he was happy for his new friend. He gently placed Shelley at the edge of the water, and the rainbow tide swept her up, carrying her back to her magical ocean. As the wave faded, Max heard Shelley's voice one last time. "Remember, Max, kindness is the key to every adventure." Max returned to Emma, his heart full of joy and wonder. He curled up beside her on the blanket, dreaming of magical oceans, rainbow waves, and the talking shell he had helped. From that day on, Max always looked for ways to help others, whether it was a lost kitten, a crab stuck in the sand, or a friend who needed cheering up. And sometimes, when the sun set and the waves whispered to the shore, he thought he heard Shelley's cheerful voice, reminding him that every day could be an adventure, as long as he led with kindness. And so, the puppy who found a talking shell learned the most magical lesson of all, that a kind heart can make the world a brighter, more beautiful place. Every morning, Max would wake up with a wagging tail, ready to greet the day and see what new adventures awaited. And every evening, as the stars twinkled above the quiet beach, he remembered the story of the rainbow tide and the friend he would never forget. As the seasons changed and Max grew, the story of the talking shell became a favorite memory he shared with Emma. Whenever she was sad or worried, Max would nuzzle her and remind her in his own puppy way that kindness could turn even the smallest moment into something truly magical. The beach remained their special place, where dreams and adventures washed ashore with every tide. And though Shelley had returned to her magical ocean, her laughter echoed in the waves, and her story lived on in the heart of a little puppy named Max. One day, as Max and Emma were walking along the shore, they noticed something new: a little pile of shells arranged in the shape of a heart. Max sniffed the shells and wagged his tail, feeling a warm, happy glow inside. Emma smiled and knelt beside him. "Maybe Shelley left us a message," she whispered. Max barked softly, and together they sat by the sea, listening to the waves and dreaming of new adventures yet to come. And every now and then, if you listen closely to the ocean breeze, you might just hear a tiny voice saying, "Thank you, Max. Thank you for believing in magic and for making the world a kinder place." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and gold, Max and Emma knew that the greatest treasures were not found in buried chests or sparkling shells, but in the simple, everyday moments of kindness and friendship. And so, the story of the puppy who found a talking shell became a legend on the beach, told and retold to children who came to play in the sand and listen to the waves. And Max, with his wagging tail and twinkling eyes, became the hero of every story, reminding everyone that even the smallest good deed could bring a little magic into the world. And if you ever find yourself on a beach, with the sun warm on your face and the waves singing their gentle song, keep an eye out for a shiny shell. You never know, you might just discover a new friend and a new adventure waiting just for you. The end.